Welcome to the Daily Grind. One half of the team, I'm Mark. I got Luke with me. What's going on, man?
Not much, brother. I saw you dancing over there a little bit. I saw you.
Nah,
I saw it.
yeah. How was the weekend?
Man, I had a good weekend. Had
Good.
family, the lady's family was in town, so we just kind of hung out and ate really good and I got to watch hoops, watched a movie, saw a really good movie. If you haven't seen The Holdovers, really good, pretty sad, but pretty good, pretty solid movie.
It's on my list to watch. I haven't actually gotten to it just yet, but it is on my list to watch. I've heard really good things about it.
Rented it at home, and it was like the perfect, just sitting at home watching good, really solid movie.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it was a good weekend. Had fun. Lots of Fortnite matches over the weekend. Hit the Grizzlies game on Friday. What did we do on Saturday?
You went to the game, right? You were there.
Yep, was there with the date night with the wife on Friday night. Super fun. We'll be back there tonight with just my daughter, though, my 9-year-old.
Yeah.
She's excited. Yeah, so we'll be back there tonight, and looking forward to it. Great show for you guys today, though. We're going to be talking about the games that happened over the weekend, as well as the game happening tonight. And then in the last segment, like we talked about last week, we'll be doing a trade segment every day until the trade deadline. And so that is a little over, I guess, 2 weeks away at this point, because that is February 8th. So that is not this Friday, but next Friday. Deadline is the 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern, I think, is the actual deadline. So we'll be doing trade segments up until then. Today we're looking at what kind of hawk we want on. Not a hawk like a animal, but a person we might like on the Grizzlies, a player we might like on the Grizzlies. So we'll be looking at that in the last segment.
I will say a pet hawk would be dope.
That would actually be very, very cool. John 17. Yes, we read the live chat. He just left us a comment. It's a must-win game tonight. Yes, we do read the live chat. We see all the messages you guys leave.
It is a must-win.
I don't know. I mean, three wins in a row. 3 out of 4 is not bad, right? I mean, the Kings are good too. So, I don't know, right?
The Kings are kind of. They're like, well, we'll talk on them in the next segment. I was surprised at some of the stats I read about them. I really hoped we were going to win the game yesterday.
Yeah.
I did too. I just really wanted to. It seems like with some of the people that they sat yesterday, that might have been on purpose for the second night of a back-to-back being tonight. Just specifically, I'm thinking like Luke. I don't know. It seems like he's on a management right now with his knee.
I haven't seen the injury report for tonight. It should have come out. It should have come out yesterday, and I haven't looked at it. But I haven't seen if he's on in the game tonight or not. I'll try to check during the break until we get to the previous segment. But let's talk about, speaking of, it literally just came out 4 minutes ago. So Vince Williams Jr. questionable, doubtful. John Conchar, Zion Williams, Luke Kennard is out tonight already, ruled out. With
Shit. And doubtful is John Conchar and Zaire Williams.
Doubtful. Out for John Conchar, left ankle sprain, Zaire Williams left hand soreness, and Vince Williams Jr. with left knee soreness. So news not on that is Jaren Jackson Jr. Shout out to him for all the injuries that he had early in his career. He's the other one that's been consistent the last 2 years. So shout out to him. But let's get into the games of the weekend. We can talk about tonight in the next segment. The Grizzlies beat the Magic on Friday, 107-106. They tried to throw it away late. They couldn't do it. Joe Ingles had a great looking shot. He doesn't miss those a lot, and they got lucky because the last possession that their last offensive possession that they ran was pure garbage, and their last defensive possession they had was also pretty bad. And so, they got lucky, but sometimes you need a little luck in the NBA. But everybody played well. I thought everybody played well. Zaire had a really good game randomly. And I say that
literally after me talking shit about him in the show that morning, I was just talking mad shit.
We both did. But to be clear, for very real reasons, that's his first good game in I don't know how long, right? He had 17 points. He was 7 for 10, 3 for 6 from 3. He had a good game. But again, we've talked about this on the show. Having a good game once is awesome. Having a good game every time in the court is a totally different thing, and that's what you need to be an NBA player, and that's something Zaire can't do.
How was the energy in the building? Like I'm just curious because
I mean, it's great. I mean, it was pretty full. It was way. I mean, it's a Friday night, so
yeah.
it was very full. I'm curious to see what it'll look like tonight on a Monday night against the Kings. But it was full. People were rocking. People having a good time. And I know we were out and about after the fact and before the game as well. So, we didn't watch the game sober. So whatever.
Man, the people. People still believe this team can make the play in, dude. Being in the building for some of those, like last week, how we don't think there's hope, but I think that might have been before they won 3 or 4. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, they keep winning. And Taylor's done a really good job down the stretch. I mean, I think both those games I would question some of the lineup decisions. But every time I think about that in my head, I'm like, well, what lineups is he going to put together? To John 17's point on our chat, are they going to have 8 players tonight? They haven't had a lot of players to choose from, right? Like, you got to play Zaire Williams because you got to have bodies at certain points. Like,
probably not tonight.
Probably not tonight, but they had like 9 available players that night. I mean, I think you can question lineups if you want. Sure. I do as well. Sometimes I think, waiting to bring back Jaren at sometimes is really, you got to know when to push. And I think that's something we saw on yesterday afternoon. I think, riding with the Zaire, Tillman, Jacob Gilliard, Santi lineup late in the third quarter it was bad. I mean, you let the Pacers go on a 10-0 run when, quite frankly, I think that was a very winnable game for them. They had their chances. That just I think they ran with that lineup too long and waited to get Jaren back in the game. At a certain point, like we talk about all the time, you got to just play Jaren and hope he doesn't foul and hope for the best. If he fouls out, then so be it. Because guess how many fouls Jaren finished with yesterday? 5. So you don't get credit for the extra skits foul you don't use. You don't get extra points for that. So Jaren basically fouling himself out in the fourth quarter was tough. And I think that's really what they missed. The other side of that coin is they just missed bench scoring. Just kind of the same thing we always talk about. There's not enough people to score the basketball. Jacob Gilliard was awful. Zaire was awful again. Scottie Pippen Jr. was meh.
Fine.
Tillman was meh. I mean, these guys are just mediocre. And as role players, you're just going to have those games. You're going to have games that are just mediocre, right? And you're not going to have the firepower. But those guys, Jacob Gilliard and Scottie Pippen Jr. aren't playing in a real game. They don't even see the floor. No. Neither does Zaire Williams, to be honest with you.
No.
So I don't know. I mean, I look at last night's game like, yeah, you like to win, but I mean, what do you really expect out of this team? I expect them to lose almost every game they play now, just because of the personnel they have. Like tonight, I expect them to lose because if we have 7 players, and
now it's going to be tough. Tonight's going to be tough. Tomorrow.
I mean, you just can't run out there and play Jaren 38 minutes a game and Vince Will. Especially this is 3 games in 4 nights.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
It's just tough.
And still no hardship exceptions. Still none.
Still no hardship exceptions granted, which is kind of weird. I think they would have gotten them by now.
Same. I agree. It seems strange.
I don't know. What do you think about the game yesterday? The Pacers game specifically.
Well, I mean, I thought they were in it. It was a game that I think that they gave away in the fourth. That's what's disappointing. And I think the reason that happened is just because, like we're talking about, they didn't have the personnel. Like in the second half when your dudes are tired and you're trying to figure shit out, it wasn't there. We got 8 dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else we can ask for them.
That's they look at the fourth quarter and, something it's just down the stretch, having the ball like in G.D. Jackson's hand to make plays is just not the answer. Right.
Nope.
And I'd have to go back and look at every specific play, but I would be a safe bet that almost every play Jaren was being double teamed and sometimes triple teamed. And it's like, and he wasn't getting any foul calls yesterday. I mean, he was getting, especially the first half, he got nothing.
He had a shit whistle yesterday. Yesterday was bad.
He got a very, very shit whistle. And to be clear, there are possessions you could have called a foul for Jaren every single time. He's literally going through 2 and 3 people sometimes. There's no chance he's not getting fouled. I understand you're not going to call a foul every time. And I think also, especially down the stretch, fourth quarter, he got a good whistle in the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, but down the stretch, I think they saw the whistle on a lot of those plays and quote unquote let him play, which is great and all. But when he's getting hacked by two people, it's tough. And I think that's why you saw the ball end up in GG Jackson's hands at some point. And it's just tough to see. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of answers other than you don't have a whole lot of people. And I mean, John Contra was good late, I guess, but there was just nobody scored the basketball off the bench besides GG Jackson.
The fact that they're sticking in these games, man, with down 6 or 8 rotation dudes any given night is pretty incredible. To be perfect,
it's also why I'm not going to get down on Taylor Jenkins.
Hell no.
Right?
Hell no.
Like, I mean, the dude's doing work right now and
coaching his ass off right now.
Like I said, are there times when I question the lineups and sticking with them as much as he does? Sure. I think that's you can do that probably with every coach.
Yeah.
Would I like to see Jaren play more and play through fouls? Absolutely. But at the same time, like, you're winning games with these lineups, and like, what more do you want? I don't know what more you want from Taylor Jenkins at this moment. Again, like we talked about on Friday, we'd like to see Zaire not play because we don't think he's good. But you also don't have a whole lot of options.
Yeah.
Like, they played every player they could on yesterday. They only had 10 people available. Now, Jacob Gillard probably didn't have to play, but he only played 6 minutes, and you kind of just trying to steal things from people at that point.
Yeah. I mean, if they don't have JD and don't have Z available tonight, that's 8 available dudes. I mean, that's everybody's going to be playing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if again, they have questionable typically means that they'll play for the Grizzlies. So Vince Williams, that just means that like he's going to go out there and just say how he feels the day of. But if Vince doesn't play, they got 7 dudes. And that's counting every hustle guy they can bring up. And so
that's the minimum, right? Is that the minimum you're allowed? 7?
Mm-hmm. You have to have a minimum of 7 people to play. So, I don't know, man. I've never seen it. I've never seen an injury report this bad.
This is bad. This is dire.
It's the worst I've ever seen it. I mean, I just don't know. Like, we're talking about like how many players you got to have just to be on the court
to not forfeit the game.
Yeah, and so I think that given that also like Vince would likely play. I think
maybe not as many minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where you get points, especially. I mean, John Contra and Zion Williams are not going to be your points guys, right? They're not going to give you points anyway. But whatever. Like, I don't know. I mean, the silver lining on the weekend was GG Jackson. Let's just talk about that for a second.
Yes,
because I keep saying I don't know because that's where we're at right now with this team. Is like I don't fucking know, man. I just don't know anymore how you're supposed to win games with this roster. And then Taylor keeps doing it, so shout out to him. But silver lining, GG Jackson over the weekend looked good on Friday. Didn't have the points he did yesterday, but he looked good. He looked great yesterday.
Minimum minutes, but was good in the minutes he got on Friday.
Looked great yesterday. Ended up playing the most minutes off the bench, 29 minutes. Closed the game as well.
Yeah, I bet he starts tonight.
I bet he starts tonight. Well, maybe, probably. Well, I don't know because they'll probably. If Vince doesn't play, yes. But if Vince plays, they'll probably route the same lines they had if Roddy started. But Roddy looked good too. We're talking about young guys look good. Santi had spots, that he looked decent enough. He still continues to shoot the 3 ball, and it just hasn't been falling this year. It has not been good.
Not like last year. Last year, that shot was guaranteed. His arms didn't even go down last year. It's just all over the place this year.
Yeah, but what'd you think about GG Jackson?
I mean, he's just continues to improve. I mean, like at this point, he's outplaying his age. He's outplaying his draft position. He's playing like he's got a chip on his shoulder, which I appreciate. He's playing like a Grizzly, as generic as that is. Like these are the games where, normally these are the minutes you give teams when you're tanking or you're not winning, when you're a losing team. We're still competing and he's getting these minutes and he's playing well. That's fucking awesome. I think that's got to like the fact that I need to look up rookie stats, but it feels like he is rising to the occasion and he's in the top. top 3 3-point percentage on our team, I believe. Like he's as advertised, and especially with this coming draft as shitty as it's supposed to be, it makes me, I'm pretty happy we got him.
Yeah, I mean, silver lining on the injuries is that you wouldn't have had GD Jackson to be able to you wouldn't found GD Jackson is the point I'm trying to make without the injuries. So I guess that's a good thing. But yeah, he looks really good. He looks the part. And the thing that we talked about before with GD Jackson is you want to see what the defense looks like, what the rebounding looks like. He rebounds about as good as Xavier Tillman. He plays defense he played defense great yesterday. Was good. He's got the length and the size and the athleticism to be able to be good. I think that's just really just an effort thing for him on the defensive end. I think he can be good. I think it's just more of like, does he apply it? Can he do it consistently? And that's what I want to see from him. The offense, you can see it's there for some games, and it's very much inconsistent right now, but it's more consistent than it is inconsistent. I mean, he can do it more often than Zaire can, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Eric. I mean, he's going to have games where he scores 10, right? And the minutes reflect that TJ is just he's going to play the whoever's playing well. Like you saw it on Friday, Zaire was playing well. Zaire got 29 minutes off the bench. Last Saturday and Sunday, GG was playing the best. He got, so right now he's going to ride whoever's playing the best. And at this point, you can't really blame him for that. He's trying to win games still. If you're just talking about true development, I would just say, hey, let's play GG all the minutes instead of Zaire. But at this point, again, he's still trying to win games. So
he's trying to survive still.
He's trying to survive. And it's been, we probably have 2 more weeks. The All-Star break, you look, right before you get Desmond back, if he comes back.
Maybe Brandon Clark.
I don't know. People talk about the play-in, and they keep winning. So right now, I got no reason to think that they, not have a chance, but are going to at least give it a shot, right? Like they are.
They're 8-6 in the month of January, right?
They're playing well, and they are. Let's see, 6 games out of Utah. The problem is that gap doesn't seem to be closing at all. That's the real problem. Utah continues to win. And the gap there doesn't seem to – they're only 1 game behind Golden State.
I think they'll pass Golden State and Houston. It's just a matter of closing that gap to get into the play-in. Is like you were saying, it's going to be tough.
The gap doesn't seem to be closing at all. That kind of where the issue relies, is that they just don't seem to be gaining that much ground on Utah and the Lakers. But we can save that discussion for another day. Let's take a quick break. We're already 20 minutes into the show. We haven't even taken a break yet. Let's do that. And we'll be right back. We'll talk about a short preview segment for the Kings, and then we'll get to our trade segment at the end.
Not just the level of individual talent that he plays with, but it's also the level of his mind. We haven't gotten cross-court open shot this year. Right. We haven't seen that pass a lot. Number one, you got to respect him going to the basket. There's a roller. I got to watch the roller. He has the mind to be able to say, I see all of that, but now I see this guy over here. I'm going to get him this open shot. How shifty he is to always be going forward. It's usually side to side.
Yeah.
His dribble moves are side to side, but going forward.
Right.
Which is very hard to defend. I just want to get you, as many times can I get you to do this? But for him, it's not here. It is here, which is with are his moves to get down the floor. It's awkward for a defender to try to catch a cadence. You dribble. So now what I do is, now when you go put that ball down, I'm going for it. But with him, it's hard for my cadence. But what's my cadence for you? I don't know what it is.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Who do you need to step it up? Outside of David Jones, I think David Jones is David Jones.
I don't think you need him to step it up because he's been performing.
Yeah, he's David Jones. Outside of him, he's fine.
I think Quinterly needs to play better.
In what way? He's facilitating the ball well. I mean, what do you like? I don't.
2 at 12 from the field's not cutting it.
It's not great. It's not great.
And I don't need a runner 3 from the top of the key with 3.5 seconds left.
Is Virginia the game where Jordan Brown is going to cook? Those dudes aren't looking to run the ball.
Cook what? Dude, I thought he was going to have a freaking night. He came out with that fresh cut, lined up, and then literally within the first 15 seconds, missed a wide open layup. And then picked up 2 fouls right away.
I feel real lied to because I thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy.
Didn't think it did anything for you.
Well, I think
we all thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy. And we are getting that in David Jones.
I'm not even getting 20 or 10 minutes out of the guy.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind right here on Bluff City Media YouTube and all other outlets. Make sure you tune in every day. Well, 1 p.m. We're talking Grizzlies. Luke and I are here every single day. Make sure you go subscribe to the YouTube channel. I promise we got shows for everybody. And we got different shows for different sports in the city of Memphis and just kind of some national shows too, national sports talk as well. So go check out all the other channels. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do us a huge favor. And it's free. Cost you nothing. So take your time. Take a break right now. Subscribe and keep watching. So let's talk about the Grizzlies and the Kings tonight. The Kings are 26-18, 5th in the Western Conference. They are 14th in offensive rating, and they are 18th in defensive rating. That is good for 0.7, positive 0.7 in net rating, 14th in the league. Where are you at on the Kings tonight, Luke?
The thing that I guess surprised me, I'm trying to get it in front of me really fast, was the 3-point variance between the two teams. In my mind, Sacramento is the team that's got like Kevin Huerter, like bombing dudes out from deep, but that's not really happening this year. I mean, they're still doing better than the Grizzlies. They're 3rd in the league in 3-point attempts. We're 5th. And they're making,
but they're also they're also 3rd in the league in made attempts and 3-pointers made.
Yes,
so,
exactly. It's, and we're not. We're like what, 20 or something?
We're like 20. We're like 25th,
28th. It's like, to me, it's like, well, shit, something ain't working. Like that. To me, that's gonna be, and we just don't have the dudes to do it right now. Vince is trending pretty solid. He's gonna be good for a couple threes, but like, it can't just be Jaren scoring 30 plus every night. And they've got a lot of guys. We're going to get the shit kicked out of us rebounding wise. I just hope everybody buckle down. Sabonis is going to beat our asses on the boards. It's just going to happen. He's leading the league in rebounding with 12 something. Like he's gotten 12 plus rebounds in 6 seasons in a row, and this year is a career high for him at like 12.7. Yeah. The dude is like, we have our top 5 people in rebounding. Only 3 of them are active currently, and nobody has more than 6. Our league league leader in reboundings for the Grizzlies, like team leader, is Bismack with like 6 something.
Well,
yeah, it's not good. Not good.
In positive news,
yeah.
It doesn't look great for the Grizzlies. Coming off back-to-back 3 games of 4 nights, like you mentioned, Domantas Sabonis is averaging a double-double.
Like, dude,
doesn't happen to have one every other game. He is averaging a double-double. Not like a 13 rebounds and 20 points is a serious double-double.
Yeah.
And so I think he gets like 18 rebounds tonight. Like, if you're a betting person and you can get
take the over.
If you can take the over, like if he's got an 8+ or 10+ with good money, take it, because it will happen. 100%. This is also a matchup I always like to watch because it's De'Aaron Fox and Ja Morant. De'Aaron Fox, I love De'Aaron Fox. I think he's a great player.
I like him too. I like Malik Monk.
Love Malik Monk too. I mean, I like this Kings team.
I like this Kings team too.
They're fun to watch. They're finally good. They finally put a lot of the pieces together. I like a lot of these pieces they have.
Love Mike Brown.
Yeah, I mean, and they're winning at a rate. They lost 4 in a row. They won 3 in a row. So they kind of been back and forth on the wins. But again, they're 5th in the league. Like you mentioned, they take the third amount. They're 3rd in the league in 3-point attempts. They're 3rd in the league in 3-point makes. They're 5th in the league in just field goal attempts altogether. They play just as fast as the Grizzlies, so not a little faster. Yeah. And so this is going to be an up and down type of game. And the Grizzlies can't afford. I mean, normally I would say try to slow that pace down and try to put them in a different situation, but the Grizzlies can't afford to do that,
Nope.
And so, there's not a whole lot of like holes you can find in this team. Again, they don't take a lot of 2-point attempts. They don't take a lot of stuff inside. They shoot a lot of threes. but again, they take 43-point attempts a game, which is 40.4, which is crazy. So almost 41, almost 41, which is just almost 41. That's a Mike Brown system though, right? Like makes total sense for him.
Yeah.
So their defense is mediocre at best. They're a lot like the Pacers. They're just trying to score points. They're 7th in the league in points per game, 118 points per game. Again, reminder, the Grizzlies are like last in the league in points per game. So I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm just trying to give you the reality of the facts that they are a very good team. And
Positive. Our defense is a top 10 unit.
There you go. But the problem is, here's the problem. Here's my devil's advocate to our defense is top 10. Is you got De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, both of which Vince Williams and Jaren can guard, right?
That's it.
You have other players like Malik Monk who they can't guard. And Malik Monk, he doesn't even start. Like he's a
6 man. He's
a good player. He's not even starting. Kevin Harter and Keegan Murray and Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, and Harrison Barnes are your starters. Like we always talk about, though, Vince is only one player. He just can't guard it. And that's what you're looking at right now, especially if John Concher goes down and he can't play, who is another one of your kind of defensive guys. I think if John Concher doesn't play, I think you have to start G.D. Jackson to give you some semblance of a defense on the first team, to really try to lock down and just hope for the best on the second unit. And just hope that guys can
just hope,
just hope and pray. I mean, that's what we're working on right now for tonight is a hope and a prayer. It's just the guys are tired, traveled last night. There's not a lot of things going.
Yeah, that they
going
traveled too. I forgot about that.
Yeah. At least it was an afternoon game. It wasn't a late game. It wasn't a night game. But still, there's not a lot of positives right now. It's tough. It's tough. John 17 in the comments. Ja's better than De'Aaron Fox. Ja is better than De'Aaron Fox, no doubt. No doubt about it. Not even close. Ja Morant is a superstar, and De'Aaron Fox is a star. Those are things. I think those are different things. De'Aaron Fox. True. Well, De'Aaron Fox won't even make the All-Star game this year. So, but he's great. I mean, he's a great player. He's just not Ja. So that's fair.
Top 10 in points per game this year, I think, but still won't make the All-Star team.
And look, we've talked about this before, and it's very much like we talked about Desmond Bane. Yeah. It's sometimes it's not about you; it's more about everybody else around you, right? Like it's about all the other players that are in front of you, and the West just has so many good guards, and it's tough.
Stack.
Even if Desmond Bane was playing like he has been all year, and he had continued to do that, which we would say, hey, he's an all-star. Yeah, it's true, but like, would he be an all-star? Probably not. And
Steph isn't starting. That's how good. Exactly. That's how good the guards are.
Yeah, and so like you're able to have all-star level play without being an all-star. At least, I mean, Mike Conley is a perfect example. You see that for how many years of Mike Conley, and come on, there's only so many spots and whatever. But I digress. It's not talking about all-stars, but De'Aaron Fox is very good. So Rusty Witten in the comments says Jared deserves a Presidential Medal of Freedom for his work this year. It's Jaren and the Hustle. That's
like a band.
That's a great band name. Jaren and the Hustle.
Jaren and the Hustle.
Jaren and the Hustle. Jaren and the Hustle. All right. Anyway, people didn't come here for that. The TLDR on the preview tonight is it doesn't look great. Hope for the best.
Hashtag. Doesn't look great. Hope for the best. That's a good. That should have been this.
That's what we're going with. It doesn't look great. Hope for the best. Let's take another quick break. We'll be right back with our trade segment to end the show.
I'm just big on being able to vocalize what someone's role is. I always thought my best coaches were the people that let me know exactly what you expect from me. Now I might not like it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you come to me man to man to say, this is how we think we're gonna play you. Bang, 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 and hopefully everybody understand. I'm not saying that this has not been done with this team. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying from my experience, we all have egos when we get to this game. Right. All of us, to the last person on the bench, you got an ego, but all of us can't be the man.
Yeah.
You got to be able to say, okay, he's a man, but what do I do and what can I do to help us be good? And if it's vocalized to you, then you know exactly and if I'm out there doing it and now I'm not getting the result from you, now we got to sit down and have another conversation. But as long as it is told to you, this is what we expect from you, this is how we want you to play, then I feel like, again, keeping his logo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. All right, Christian.
Yes,
You are Penny Hardaway.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Today, you're going to play act. Okay? Gabe, because you're a Jordan Brown apologist, you're going to be Jordan Brown.
I'm a Jordan Brown apologist. Okay.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Y'all are sitting across the room from each other.
I said, don't tweet him hate. And he's like, you're an apologist. Like, good God. But either way, continue. We're in a room together.
Why did things break down?
Jordan, we brought you in this year to be the centerpiece of our offense. You came in out of shape. Let's call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. We play fast. Told you this when we were recruiting you. We play fast. One of the fastest paces in the country. You have to be able to get up and down the floor. You have failed at that.
Oh, well, I'm leaving. So it's fine. Cool.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. We are here every single day at 1 p.m. Right after your lunch break, maybe during your lunch break. Join us to talk Grizzlies every day. We are back for another trade segment like we're doing every day until the trade deadline. So you got us coming at you with different people, different trade ideas. Sometimes it's people we like. Sometimes it's actual trades we have seen, kind of rumor mill. Today, it's just going to be a team we think are sellers and who we might think would be Grizzlies, or good for the Grizzlies off that team. We got the Atlanta Hawks. Luke, we've seen that they're going to be sellers this year. Who do you want off this team? Or who do you think is gettable off this team? And why do you think that's good? I want Trae Young. I think he's gettable. I'm just kidding.
Yuck. I think I threw up in my mouth. I threw up in my mouth just now. For people who couldn't see it, I threw up in my mouth and swallowed it because I'm awesome.
Right. Who is really for real gettable on for you?
So there's someone that I want that we don't even have to want. There's someone that is gettable that they are shopping I know they're saying that he's shopping. Like I think everybody knows. And there's someone that same person is also gettable with our traded player exception. It's Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey is on it. They don't want him. They've already said they're shopping him around. We don't have to give up anything. We can just trade for him because he's only making like $4.5 million this year. So essentially it's a 4.5. You're renting him for a year because he's on the final year of his contract. I mean, he's gonna hit, what is it? We can a qualifying offer for $6 million next year. He's gonna be a restricted free agent if you get him, but he's on the last guaranteed deal. Like I don't know. Well, like worst case scenario, you get him, he balls out, a team snags him from you at the end of the year. I don't know. You need bodies. This is an exception. You're probably not going to spend otherwise. I just why not just go for it? That's my way of thinking. Since we still haven't heard anything about these hardships, like just take him. If they're offering him, just trade for him. See if you can. Maybe throw in a couple seconds. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sadiq Bey is a really, really interesting player. And I've always liked him even when he was in Detroit. And he's really resurrected his career in Atlanta. And, I think you got a good point. I mean, I don't know what the price would be for him. I can't imagine it's going to be a lot. He's, averaging 13 and 6 right now, 13 and 7, which isn't not bad. So
not bad.
I don't know if 2 seconds is going to get it. That's what kind of where I'm at. And I still think the Grizzlies will probably end up sending out salary in it. I don't think they would take it into a TPE. I think they could, but I still think you'd send out salary with it anyway, just because you probably want to get off people too. And if you don't get anybody back, you got to end up cutting someone anyway. So you might as well say, hey, we'll just give you Zaire, right? Maybe that does it for them. Maybe someone like Zaire does it for them, whether maybe it's another project type of player. You got some more control, less salary, because for them, getting off Sadiq Bey is not a salary thing. It's just, we don't want to pay him the future thing. That's all this is for them. And they don't really like who he is in terms of their fit in the team. For the Grizzlies, they're doing this because it's a way to see what you got in a player for the last 3 months before you do have to sign him.
Exactly.
You don't want him. No harm, no foul. It's more of a rental than anything. And if it doesn't cost you anything, in terms of like seconds or maybe 1 second and a player, something like that, I think would be a home run, to be honest with you. I'm with you.
Rental.
It's a rental, and you get some good time out of him to see how he fits with this, with offense and kind of where everything around him with the scheme. And again, if you like him in the summer, I don't think you're going to get anything. I think he's probably going to get around the MLE, maybe less, maybe 8 to 10 million a year. And so
he's only 24.
The situation again, the Grizzlies just can't afford to pay a lot of guys. Exactly. That's the ultimate issue that we're having when you trade for these guys, and you have someone who's coming up for. That will be the only reason why I think the Grizzlies might be hesitant to do it, because they can't afford to pay a lot of people in the summer. Desmond Bane extensions kicks in next year. You're going to be committing a lot of your cap space to just a few guys. So if I had to say no and why the Grizzlies wouldn't do it, that would be the reason. It would be simply because it would be a cap space issue of why are we giving up assets for a rental when we know in the future, even at a low price, we can't afford them anyway. If they were to clear some money off the books, if they were to move some stuff around, that's a different story. If they move contracts around that aren't, to Atlanta, but can get off of money without getting on dead money, then maybe that's a different story. And maybe they can, and maybe they can find a winner. But if they were able to just do it with any of those questions, I would say do it.
Yeah. Because
like you said, you get a rental, you get to see what he says, and you have control. And those are the things you want.
Yes. The only, that's the thing. Because of that, it's like there's nobody. I would love Clint Capella. I would love him. I think that we got to pay a lot of guys really soon, and his play isn't as good as it has been. And to me, that's more of a gamble. And with where we're at currently with this team, I would rather not gamble. I would rather just take a rental on somebody personally.
I mean, I wouldn't mind Clint Capella either, because if you're getting Clint Capella, you're giving up Steven Adams. That's just the simple. And Clint Capella is on a contract for 2 more years than is he unrestricted free agent, but he's also extension eligible next year. So like, if you're getting Clint Capella, it means you're giving up Steven Adams. So you're swapping basically 25 million for 25 million or 22 million, whatever it is. You actually get a little less salary. So I'd be fine with that. Honestly, I really would. I like Clint Capella. I think he fits the team really well. He's a great rebounder, which is really like, if you're trading Steven Adams, you gotta brings back somebody that's a good rebounder in return. You can't just get rid of him without any kind of that coming back. And I think Clint Capella would definitely fit the bill. Now, is Atlanta taking Steven Adams? I don't think so.
That's the thing. Like they're not. I don't think they want him.
Are they taking Steven Adams at a first? Are they taking? Is it Steven Adams in 2 first? That's where you kind of have to look. Is what's your price limit on Clint Capella? What are you willing to pay? And I think if you get into it to like 2 first, I think I'm probably good on that. Now, would I give up Steven Adams in a first? Yeah, I would.
I would too.
In a heartbeat.
Yep.
I would drive Steven Adams to Atlanta myself. And I'd even give him snacks on the way.
Oh, that'd be fun. That would be a fun little drive.
Me and him road tripping. It'd be weird because I'm like, hey man, when you get here, you got to get out, and I can't bring you back. But like, it'd be fun on the way down.
Like, hey man, you got a way back. You're good, right? You're good.
Anybody else on this team I think is gettable? I'm a DeAndre Hunter fan.
I like him too,
but I don't think he's a guy that you're getting. He just signed a deal. He's in his first year of a 4-year deal, and he's making $20 million a year. I think it'd be great, but I don't think they're giving him up, and I don't think the Grizzlies are going to get him either. I think, like you said, the only 2 players on this team that I would want and are gettable, like we're legitimate, there are shopping them, is Clint Capella and Sadiq Bey.
I like the Bogdanovich kid, but I don't think the salary. I think it's more like we would have to cobble a chunk. I mean, you'd have to give Luke. That's the other. I guess if you want the Bogdanovich kid, you're sending out Luke.
You are sending out Luke for Bogdanovich for sure. Bogdanovich is all 30. He's also 31, and he's in the first year of a 4-year deal.
Pass.
So you're probably
not giving up Jalen Johnson, Kenny.
Sorry. I think you're getting Jalen Johnson ain't happening. We all want Jalen Johnson. We're talking about people they can get. And so I think with Bogdan Bogdanovic, I think you're giving up Luke. I think you're giving up something you already have. You're getting something you already have.
Redundant.
Like,
it's a redundancy.
Is Bogdan Bogdanovic better than Luke? Probably, like he's probably slightly, in other areas of like defense and rebounding. But is he like so much better that you want to commit another 2 years to him outside of you just going further than 2 years? Going further than 2 years just presents another problem because you got Jaren's going to be extension eligible next year. And so his extension will kick in 2 years and he will be a max contract.
Yes.
No way around it. They will be paying
he
Jaren max money. The deal he is on is a fucking bargain.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And so you don't really want to be committing too much more money, especially if someone like Bogdan Bogdanovic for, that would be 2 years after Jaren's extension kicks in. You still have 2 years on that deal. $16 million. You just can't afford to pay those two people. You just can't. So you need people like, that are on one to 2 year deals, or people like Sadiq Bey who are money manageable, if you will. They're cost controlled. Ideally, you'd have that in Zaire and a lot of your first round picks. You'd have the cost control there, and they'd be good. And you do right now in Vince Williams and Gigi Jackson, right? You have some of that there.
But you might be able to extend Santi. You gotta. Right. They got to extend that date's coming up too, either for both Santi and Z. So, I mean, maybe they hit on one of those, get a team-friendly deal, maybe with Santi. I
don't think Z's on the team next year.
Oh, I agree. He's toast.
But Santi is extension eligible next year, starting at the next season. So, I think they extend him too, though. I mean, so, I think that's kind of where I land on. That's kind of where I land on these deals is that you have to, for me, it's more about the cap situation sometimes than it is about the player. And it's more about the technical aspect of it. Can you physically do it? And I think they have to be very careful about what they do 2 years from now, because you have Jaren's money kicking in. You're not gonna be able to pay all these people. So I think what they think is that they have hit home runs in Gigi and Vince. And that's going to be where your wings come from the next few years, especially if Gigi pays off like he is in terms of the shooting.
Yes.
I think you need to replace someone like you need to replace Marcus Smart with someone different. That's just me. I just don't think now that you have Vince Williams, I think Vince Williams and Gigi Jackson makes every game they go out and play. Winnable. They make Marcus Smart more expendable than he was before.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's you hit the nail on the head. It's true. Just with their, I mean, and I'm little sneak peek. I got a piece that I'm hoping to probably come out either tomorrow or Wednesday. It's about like with Vince playing the defense he's playing. He has made Marcus the definition of expendable. Like it's funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Statty Sean put out a stat. I think it was yesterday. I meant to cut it and put it in the show, but I didn't get to it. So go look up Stats Twitter. It's Stats SAC as his Twitter, and Statty Sean put out a great stat about Vince Williams and kind of his defense. So go check it out. He's always providing good stuff. Again, John 17. You don't want to go into playoff series without Smart. I get that. I do. But you're not going to the playoffs anyway this year. You're probably not going to make it. And even but even if you do, you're probably not going to win a series anyway. So, I think at this point you want to maybe Smart's not ready for playoff series right now, but maybe next year. But to be clear, all we've seen from Vince Williams has been being very, very good every single game for 2 months, 3 months almost. Like there's not been he's the things he can control in terms of his defensive rebounding has been there every game. Now his points have shot up the last few weeks because there's no one else to score the basketball. But when those guys come back, when you get Luke and you get Desmond back, he'll go back to his role and he'll continue to play that Marcus Smart role like we thought Marcus Smart was going to be. So that's going to wrap it up for our show today. We went way long, but we had to talk about the trade. That's on us. We were very talkative today. That's on me. My bad. That one's on me. So we will see you guys tomorrow. If you guys have trades out there that you like, tag us in it. We'll get them on the show. We'll talk about them.
Yeah.
If you have trades you want for us to talk about, if you think it's going to be realistic or gettable, that kind of stuff, tag us in either on Twitter or just DM to us something so we can see it. And we will definitely talk about it on the show. We'll be back tomorrow, 1:00. Hopefully the Grizzlies get a W. We can talk about that tomorrow. But it doesn't look good. What was our motto? I can't remember. What was it? Hope for the best. It doesn't look good, but hope for the best. I don't know.
Something like that.
It doesn't look good, but hope for the
Hope
best
for the
tonight.
best.
And we will see you guys tomorrow.